Hello and welcome to Tell the People, a program about our Catholic faith with news and information in and around the Catholic Diocese of Lafayette. I'm Stephanie Bernard. In today's show, Trista Littell has an interview with Joseph Cotton about a day of reflection for African American men. Father Michael Champont's talk is about the commandments, in this segment, what it means to be Catholic. And in a conversation, Bishop Michael Gerald, Monsignor Richard Green interviews Bishop Gerald about an upcoming Year of Faith announced by Pope Benedict XVI. And now, Catholic news on this May 27th weekend. All are invited to attend a special prayer service before the start of hurricane season on Tuesday, June 5th at 6:30 p.m. at Cathedral of St. John the Evangelist, located at 515 Cathedral Street in Lafayette. Please join us in prayer for the safety and protection of our area prior to hurricane season, which runs from June 1st to November 30th. All are welcome. For more information, please call the Cathedral of St. John the Evangelist 232-1322. The Lafayette Diocesan Office of Vocations will sponsor Quo Vadis Days from June 12th through the 15th on the ground of John Paul the Great Academy in Lafayette. The experience is open to all young men ages 15 to 25 who wish to participate in a time of recreation, fellowship, prayer, and discussion to aid them in exploring the Lord's call in their lives. There is no cost to register, and further registration details may be obtained by contacting the Vocation Office at 337-261-5690 or online at www.lafayettvocations.org. Featured talks will include the nuts and bolts of discernment, why the priest is a man, why me, feeling unworthy, celibacy and the priesthood. Other activities will include prayer, Mass, adoration of the Blessed Sacrament, liturgy of the hour, recitation of the Rosary, hiking, games, bonfires, and more. Attention all men, your help is needed for men's work days. If you can help with carpentry, plumbing, electrical, painting, concrete work, or good old manual labor, please try to attend any of the work days at Our Lady of Sorrows Retreat Center, located at 420 North Main Street in St. Martinville. The work days will be Saturday, June 30th and July 14th from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Holy Mass will be celebrated at noon, followed by lunch provided by the center. Come when you can and stay for as long as you can. For more information, call 824-3045. Fathers Jude Halfin and Neil McNeil would like to invite all married couples to join them for a special married couples retreat on board the Holland American cruise ship. The 7-day cruise is scheduled to depart from Seattle, Washington on September 22nd, with ports of call to include Juneau, Alaska, Glacier Bay, Sitka, Alaska, Ketchikan, Alaska, and Victoria, British Columbia. Space is limited and early booking is recommended to ensure accommodations. Additional information, including rates, may be obtained online at www.globaltracktravel.com. Coming up next, Trista Littell has an interview with Joseph Cotton about a day of reflection for African American men.
Welcome to Tell the People. I'm Trista Littell, and with me here today is Mr. Joseph Cotton. Good morning, Mr. Cotton.
Good morning, Miss Littell.
It's good to have you here today. You're going to be talking to us today about a special day of reflection for African American men. Would you tell us what is the theme?
Well, the theme is Black Men Aflame, rising up in faith and doing what's needed. Now, the tag for that is doing what's needed for self, for family, for a community of faith.
Well, what is the purpose of this day of reflection?
Well, the day is set to expose black men to some of the concerns and issues that some of us have thought about as it relates to our faith and our culture. And so what we want to do is to probe the heart, the mind, the consciousness of black men and talk about what's happening with African Americans, especially our youth, and how we as black men, in terms of a current generation, to be able to reach and help with their development.
Well, tell us about when and where this is going to take place.
The date is June 30th, 2012, and it will be held at the Immaculata Center.
And as I understand it, it will be in Fusilier Auditorium.
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay. Well, what time does it start?
It starts at 8:30 with registration, and will go until 3 o'clock. And hopefully, between the beginning and ending time, the work that we have set up for those who come will be accomplished.
Now, how did this get started as an annual event?
Approximately 3 years ago, a group of black Catholics in the diocese from parishes had some concerns and spoke that over with Stephanie Bernard, who works with the diocesan office, and talked about having a day of exposure, a day of reflection, a day of, if you will, generation of ideas and events that could help black men in their faith and in their efforts to pass this on to our culture and to the younger black male generation.
And to build stronger families.
That's correct.
Does the day consist of workshops and speakers?
The day this time will include an address, and that will be done by Father Bozeman, Anthony Bozeman. He is the pastor of St. Raymond St. Leo Catholic Church in New Orleans. He served as a priest for quite some time and served with the military, and has done a lot of work in the area of black Catholic faith and black culture. And so what we want him to do is to kick this off for us with an address that will set the tone for the day. And then what we will do is we'll go into breakout sessions where we will cover certain topics and concerns and issues that we as black men have. And then have some report outs as a larger group, lunch. And then in the afternoon, Father Bozeman will come back and will give us another jolt, if you will, or an address that will help us focus on what we want to look at the rest of the afternoon in small group sessions, where we will, cover issues and also do some planning about what can black men in the Diocese of Lafayette do for self, for faith, for family, and the community.
So will they have like facilitators of each table, like table leaders, and then they will take ideas and questions? Will there be a question and answer segment?
Right. What we will do is we will break up into smaller groups, and each will have a facilitator. And hopefully what you have is a beginning opportunity to open up for concerns, issues, comments, and then there will be a structured format of questions, hopefully that we can get the participants to be able to engage on. And then, as I said, we'll come back in a larger group and then flush those out, by open reporting. And hopefully we'll be able to collect information that will give us something that we will be able to follow up on.
Now, what are the ages that this might span?
If you mean participants at the
Right.
Day of Reflection,
Right.
young men in their teenagers to older men to my age and beyond. It's an open invitation to all who would be interested in coming. And certainly, African American Catholic men in the Diocese of Lafayette.
Wonderful. Now, as you said earlier, this will be held on June 30th at Immaculata Center in Fusilier Auditorium. And if anyone needs to download a registration form, they can go to diolaf.org, which is the diocesan website, and then under Black Catholic Ministries, it's my understanding, they can click on that tab and it would lead them to the registration form. Now, who would they contact should they want to call somebody?
Well, they can contact the Office of Black Catholic Ministries at 261-5694. And key person on our committee is Mr. Charles James. And I have two numbers for him, 288-6036 or 662-3298. Hopefully, those who view this program, if you are in a parish in the Diocese of Lafayette, flyers have gone out, so your pastors or someone at your rectory, and maybe even the bulletin, because we sent flyers out to churches to be posted in the bulletin, will carry the information for contact.
Well, we certainly hope that y'all have a full day, and we thank you for being with us today.
It's been my pleasure, and thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome, and stay tuned, folks. There's more to come on Tell the People.
Thank you, Trista and Mr. Cotton. Coming up next, Father Michael Champine's talk is about the commandments in this segment, what it means to be Catholic.
Good morning. Welcome back to Tell the People, to what it means to be Catholic. We're concluding today, this Sunday, our treatment of the Ten Commandments. The Ten Commandments are God's operating instructions, if you will, about how we ought to live. And of course, God revealed them to Moses on Mount Sinai, to his people on Mount Horeb. And then Christ himself comes as the Word, not through many varied ways in the past, but the Word incarnate, and embraces all this in himself, and then through his paschal mystery, his suffering, death, and resurrection, gives us a share in his divine life so that the law can be written in our hearts, and thus not just live the external life of the commandments, but the interior law of love, which keeps the commandments but perfects them. The 10th commandment in the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 17, as well as Deuteronomy 5:21, speak about, again, coupled both the lust of the heart as well as the lust of goods. It says, you shall not covet anything that is your neighbor's. You shall not desire your neighbor's house, his field, his manservant, his maidservant, his ox, his ass, or anything that is your neighbor's. This is treats here the concupiscence of coveting goods. We spoke about last time the concupiscence of the flesh, which had to do with desires of the flesh, particularly lust and lust of the heart, desiring another person for your own gratification without any kind of physical activity, but in the heart, the imagination, the flesh, these desires. And of course, needing to banish that from our heart with God's prayer, with God's grace, with custody of the senses, starving that beast of concupiscence. We need to do the same with regard to the sin against the 10th commandment, which, for example, greed, avarice, trying to amass goods beyond what I need for my family, for myself, getting this insatiable desire of concupiscence. The more that I love money, then there's never enough money for me. There's never enough, and we die trying to grasp. Jesus, of course, puts a big emphasis not on the possession of goods being something that is evil, but rather our relationship to the